Okay, I have been commenting on this subject for a year now, and I am not about to stop now. And there are new things coming out about Brigitte Macron, who is in the middle of a cyber harassment trial she filed against 10 individuals in France. Her daughter, Tiffane, allegedly was brought into the courtroom where she testified about her mom not being a man, or something like that. Just after this very tiny, truly insignificant discovery of Brigitte's tax file where she was listed as a man named OMG, Jean-Michel. Personally, I can't believe this is still going on. Because if someone is accusing you of being a different gender, it's such an easy accusation to debunk. Seriously, of all accusations out there aimed at politicians, this one should be the easiest one to lay to rest. A simple DNA test. It is not invasive, it is not painful. Why not do that? By the way, when I went on ChatGPT and asked, what are the legal ways of proving your gender? It gave me this extensive answer listing. Number 1, official identification documents. Your gender is legally recognized by what's written on passport, national ID card, driver's license, birth certificate, if updated, social security or tax records. Tax records, yeah. Then we have medical or psychological documentation, affidavit or notarized declaration, and then we have self-identification laws. In more progressive jurisdictions, your own statement of gender identity is legally sufficient, but not in France. It is not legally sufficient in France. There are a lot of countries in Europe that you can do that. You can just say, hey, I'm a dude, and it's fine, you're a dude. Then they put it in your ID, they put it in your passport. So then I specified biological gender. I wasn't aware that this term was wrong. It's old school. ChatGPT, of course, corrected me. It said, you mean biological sex, not gender identity. That's a different matter. Anyway, I came across this article headline saying, "My mother is not a man," says Brigitte Macron's daughter. And the article says, Brigitte Macron's daughter has told the Paris court that her mother can no longer ignore the horrors that are being said by cyberbullies who baselessly claim she was born a man. Tiffane Ozier, 41, said these had caused a change and a deterioration in her mother, France's First Lady, as she testified in the second and final day of trial of 8 men and 2 women aged 41 to 65. They are suing 65-year-olds, seriously, for saying someone is a dude. Okay. They are accused of spreading numerous malicious comments online about Mrs. Macron's gender and sexuality and of describing the age gap with her 47-year-old husband Emmanuel, the French president, as pedophilia. They face up to 2 years in prison if found guilty. Okay, I have a fair question. If it's such a horror, why not prove them wrong? Why not just put it all to bed with one blood test? Seriously, all this could be avoided. Years of alleged bullying, defamation lawsuits. Why not present relevant medical files, for example? They keep saying that submitting to a DNA test would be invasive, that medical records are a private thing. Well, nobody wants to know if she had a mole removed or if she had chickenpox. I'm just saying, again, there is an easy way to stop all this, if Brigitte is the one who's telling the truth. To be fair, medical records can be falsified. I don't think at this point anyone will believe anything except DNA tests that would be live streamed with 50 cameras around. The article continues. Mrs. Macron, 72, told investigators the rumor had damaged her mental and physical well-being and greatly impacted her and her family, especially her grandchildren, who were told their grandmother was a man. She has not attended the trial, but her lawyer had asked her daughter, Tiffane Ozier, 41, to testify. Ms. Ozier said that cyberbullying had left her mother in a constant state of alertness regarding her appearance. She is no longer at ease in any aspect of her life, she told the court. She has to pay attention to what she wears, how she holds herself, because she knows that her image can be distorted, said Ms. Ozier, adding it had led to a deterioration of her health. It's impossible for her to have a normal life without being reminded of the attacks she is subjected to. So, if Brigitte Macron is having a hard time and she is the one who said the truth all the time, then my heart goes out to her. And I will do an apology video and I will make sure the truth will get out there. I'll be the first one to do that. I don't have a huge ego. I'm happy to admit when I was wrong. So if she is a woman, we all need to humble down. No problem. However, what I have a little problem with here, teeny tiny problem, is why would she have to adjust her style or the way she moves, walks, gestures to seem more feminine? I mean, if you are a woman, it doesn't concern you. And to be fair, there are women who are more masculine and more feminine. Very much depends on your personality or what you do for a living. A lot of impacts here. I don't know. I find Tifane's comment a bit weird, revealing Brigitte had to adjust herself to be a more believable as a woman, to avoid mean comments. I mean, definitely we don't see her walking like this anymore, or sitting like this. She holds herself in a more feminine way. Also notice that Tifane never said, "My mother is and has always been a woman. She was born a woman. She gave birth to me and my siblings." They always speak in those cryptic ways, like they are next to the main topic, but not quite there. Again, the title of the article is "My mother is not a man," says Brigitte Macron's daughter, except she never said it. There are only 4 quotes from the courtroom and none of them said anything close to it. And even if she said, "My mother is not a man," again, it's not saying my mother is a biological woman. She birthed me and so on. In our crazy gender schmender times, saying she's not a man means nothing. Because anything and anyone can be a woman, right?
I think a woman is somebody who identifies as a woman.
All Tifane talks about is how people's talking affected Brigitte. That is horrible. But the subject is never faced head on. She is never asked directly, "Is your mother a biological woman?" So she can answer under oath once and for all. But the cyber harassment lawsuit is not only about claims that Brigitte is a man. They also say that the bullies falsely accused Brigitte of being a PDF file. And I am very curious about this part and how it will go down in court, because most recent claims reveal that Emmanuel Macron was 14 years old when 39-year-old Brigitte, his teacher, started a relationship with him. We talked about it in my previous videos. There were snippets of interviews with her where she admits she just couldn't help herself. Arguably, this is a bigger issue for most of us, rather than whether she's a man or not. This is something that makes us uncomfortable. If she was actually her brother Jean-Michel, then this affair looks even worse because the age gap is even greater. It would be a 47-year-old dude seducing a 14-year-old boy. That's why everyone cares. That's why it's a big deal. Anyway, the trial is being closely watched across the Atlantic, where the Macrons are planning to offer scientific evidence and photos proving that the First Lady is not transgender, according to their US lawyer. Despite this, Ms. Owens fired off a tweet on Monday that read, "If it walks like a dude, talks like a dude, and is listed in the French tax registry as a dude, then it's the first dude of France." Candice she doesn't play. That was a reference to revelations on Sunday that Mrs. Macron was given a male name on her personal tax record by a team of hackers. Ah, yes. That leads me to the next part of the story. Brigitte Macron's tax record shows she is male, named Jean-Michel. Gender conspiracy reignites. And the article says, France's First Lady Brigitte Macron appeared in the tax authorities registry under the name Jean-Michel, the name of her brother. This information appeared in the materials of a documentary film released on the evening of October 26th. According to the film's authors, she, together with a lawyer, initiated an investigation to determine how exactly this name ended up in her personal profile in the tax system. Investigators identified a couple, Juliette and Laurent A., from Corsica. The couple, in their tax return, listed the changed name in the category persons with disabilities who are dependents. This was their way of protesting against the government's policy. In February 2025, Laurent expressed sincere remorse for his act. Both admitted that it was a stupid and thoughtless joke, but Brigitte Macron filed an appeal. The film also notes that the alterations of Brigitte Macron's data was a mistake by the tax administration. Somehow everyone makes mistakes around Macrons. Everyone is making false accusations. Everyone is just telling lies. They are the only ones that are truthful here. It's always a hacker, a bully, a crazy person, a mistake. And again, I'm not saying it wasn't a hacker. I'm not saying that it was one. But it is always just so weird, so unclear with those people. And if it was someone hacking the First Lady's tax account, Shouldn't it be a little bit more difficult to do? Shouldn't it be impossible to do? The whole thing just doesn't make sense. In September, we received the news. Macron's to offer scientific evidence to US court to prove Brigitte is a woman, lawyer says. Scientific evidence. So what is that? Is it the DNA test everyone is waiting for? Not necessarily. It could mean certified medical records confirming sex assigned at birth, doctor's affidavit verifying biological sex, hospital or birth records from her delivery, official civil registry documents, obstetric or maternity records proving childbirth, historical photographs, biometric data or expert authenticated photos, chromosomal test results, DNA test results, expert testimony supporting authenticity of submitted evidence. So no, we probably won't see her going into a lab to prove those chromosomes. This would be too easy, too direct, and too truthful. So don't get excited. It's going to be another very thin file of useless documents, photographs of other people. I guess we need to wait and see. But as always, I want to know what you guys think. Is Brigitte being bullied? Does the world have a right to know if she's a man or not? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to like and share it. And if you haven't yet, make sure to subscribe to my channel and turn on the notifications to never miss another Daily Freddo episode. And for even more content, follow me on Instagram at Daily Freddo. And now on X too. I became much more active, so let's meet there. That's all for today. Have a good one.